Welcome to the Authentic Leaders Rising podcast, where high achieving entrepreneurs and leaders come to receive deep, insightful conversations and practical guidance to move from hustle to flow without sacrificing their authentic self and the results. I am your host and Chief Energy Officer, Tammy Cho, a former patient care leader turned international best-selling author, speaker, and face and body analysis expert. Get ready to lead your authenticity, lead your energy, and lead your impact.
Hi, and thank you for tuning in to this week's podcast, this week's episode on Authentic Leaders Rising. Let's start off with a big breath. I'm going to invite you to trust that the reason why you clicked on this episode, the reason why you tapped on this episode, or why this episode started playing out of nowhere, and to trust that set the intention that you're going to receive exactly what you need to receive. It's going to hit you exactly in the way you need to hear it. Maybe it's a deeper confirmation of something you've been hearing all around you, maybe from the universe, maybe from your colleagues and friends. And to really bring that energy of trust to receive exactly what you need to receive. Hi, I'm Tammy Cho. I am your host. And I help people leaders essentially fall in love with their authentic self and to really embody their authentic energy leadership, their energy presence, so they can show up as their best self to create that meaningful impact that they're meant to make. And one other thing that I bring into this authenticity practice, I like to bring clients on, is I tap into the face and body. I'm a face and body analysis expert. And what people don't know, because often we think about the body and we think it's something that gets us from A to B. It's something we know we got to take care of, right? We got to eat right, take care of our body. We hear this all the time. We got to move our body so we could maintain our energy and vitality and keep fit, whatever that is, how you're relating to the body. It's less often seen as a special roadmap, a special blueprint to really open up to the deeper parts of you. It really opens you up to pathways to more love, more happiness, abundance, success. All these pieces are written on our face and body on what exactly is in the way. For those that don't know, right, our face and body is the direct reflection of our thoughts and emotions. It's the embodiment of all the thoughts and emotions that are going on. The more we have habitual patterns, it's actually creating how our body is made. This is how the size of our bones, for example, the way we walk, the way we hold more tissue on one area of our body, how we hold our shoulders, why someone has a smaller build on lower body versus a bigger build on the top of the body. It all speaks to our emotional history. It all speaks to our upbringing. And the patterns that we run again and again are imprinted on our body. And it provides a wealth of information, not only in physically how it looks, but also when we learn the deeper practices of partnering deeper with the subconscious through our body, through somatic healing, through somatic awareness. There's just endless amount of information. And this is what I want to bring to you today. I'm going to be walking you through a bit of a journey, some before and after pictures with a client I worked with. What I love about doing this is that we do a picture. I ask my clients to send a picture and we see what is happening. And that's the first thing I do with my clients to really highlight exactly what your face and body is screaming at you to tell you. But we weren't given that dictionary, if you will, to find out what is it that your body's trying to say to you. I also use it to identify the limiting beliefs, subconscious patterns that are really highlighted more so strongly. So it really directs my coaching and healing to support my clients. And then what we do is that we do a follow-up picture to see what has shifted on the face. Yeah. Yes, you did hear that right. Because literally doing the inner work, it literally can shift our physical features. in amazing ways, not from the energy of cosmetic surgery where I want to fix the body and I want to cut this much calories and starve myself so that I could look better. Not that type of energy. What I guide people to is really to deepen their self love and acceptance, to develop a deeper intimacy with themselves, with their bodies, with their intuition, to really let their soul and heart lead and to really expand their energy resonance to really pull in more of what they say they want. And so this is a really beautiful process because my whole intention is to support you to change, shift, navigate this internal relationship with yourself so that you can transform your inner world, which then reflects into your outer world. And this is the beauty of it. A lot of times when we see this, that we have the power to change our body in this way, not from a place of pushing and doing more, from a place of really going inside with more presence, with more intimacy, with more care and love for ourselves. It's like self love is literally the strategy that I use with my clients and when we're able to show up as our authentic self and to not need to act a certain way, be a certain way that we're not, and to really embody who we truly are, lots of happiness and joy exudes from us in a way that can't be explained. And you may have gone through this journey, and sometimes we're moving through life and we start to hit blocks. We start to hit places where it feels like, oh, I don't feel like I'm moving forward anymore, or I feel like I'm blocked somehow. I know something's not working. And we all go through this, right? We go through these cycles. And the beautiful thing about it is that these are meant to be our spiritual awakenings. Because if everything went smooth and well, and God, the universe didn't drop in these realignment journeys, we would never go deeper in ourselves. We wouldn't have the motivation to do something different, to evolve and grow and change. Some of us need this. We need that wake up call because when we've been on the grind of life, it's difficult to see sometimes. You know what I mean? And this is exactly what one of my clients was going through. She knew that things weren't working. She's really sick and tired of having things seem to blow up in her face, left, right, and center. And she noticed that she was different when she was overseeing a team at work and how happy she felt in her home life. She felt like things were disconnected, things weren't going well with her husband, and she didn't feel like she was really being the best parent she could be. She was showing up very confidently in the public world in her career, but there was definitely something out of sorts. And this is another benefit of face and body analysis is that it's all written here. It's like what is in the way, whether we know how to put a finger on it or not, it's all written on our face and body. I love to start by showing a little bit of, well, sharing a little bit of what happened when I worked with Paula. So we looked at some places on her face and we saw, and actually, I'll just share this video. Oh, not a video, but I am sharing a picture. And Paula didn't want me to share her whole face. So I've cropped out the places that I'm going to share with you to respect my client. And so this is a client I was working with. This called her Jennifer. And the left side picture is essentially the first picture we took of her. And the picture on the right is the one after we did our coaching together. And as you see, right, the picture on the left, her eyes were quite uneven. If you look at her eyes, they're at a different level. And you can see that her pupils are even off center. They were actually in different locations. And so whenever I see that there's two eyes, one is your inner world, the left side, and the one is your public face, the outside world, so to speak. When the eyes are different, the eyes really represent this place of your heart and soul. So this is really highlighting for me. This is one big subconscious patterning that's coming up that there is a tendency to really not connect to her inner world, the emotional space, really this yin private world of herself. And honestly, she was never shown this. She wasn't shown how to navigate through emotions. It's just easier to push through and not be with these uncomfortable emotions. Like, who wants to be with uncomfortable emotions? Yet, this was really being highlighted in her face, and the changes in the pupils was really highlighting where there was a lot of conflict, a lot of worry in her inner and outer world. And so we worked through definitely a lot of these pieces, a lot of emotional release, a lot of anger release. You can't see on the nose, but there was a difference with the size of the nostrils in the shape of it, really highlighted that she was holding in a lot of the anger. And whenever we hold in a lot of anger, oftentimes our self empowerment, our sense of our own power is often negated. And so this was the case with Jennifer. And we really used the patterning that we saw here to really tap into how she was also holding up her embodiment, how she was actually walking in a way that really kept her stuck. And so these are some of the pieces. And you can see that after working together, how the level of the eyes, if you took a string and really measured the eyes from the bottom to the top, you see that the eyes have evened out, not only on the parallel location of her face, but also the size of the eye. You can see the distance between the top eyebrow to the eye, where the distances have evened out as well. And so she was spending more of even time because Jennifer is a very compassionate person. She was very much about giving to people outside of her and really taking care of people outside of her. But when it came to herself, there was a bit of neglect there. She didn't put herself as the priority. And obviously, that was playing out as some just overwhelmed, just feeling stressed and not knowing how to put herself first. Obviously, played out in all of this as well. And so I'll go into the next picture here is we're emphasizing the nose. Our nose has a lot to doing with our how we feel about ourselves, our level of self-confidence, our sense of self-worth. And you can see that on the left side of the picture, it was definitely more pointed and smaller in size, actually. And there was a lot of angling of the nose going up, spoke to how she had really high expectations of people around her and of herself. And so that kept her in a lot of self judgment. And the pointedness of the nose really spoke to, she was really direct in how she was speaking to people. There was a little bit of perfectionism and definitely in how she approached things. And that kept her in a cycle and feeling stuck. And you can see after we worked through some of these pieces, really helping her see more of the truth of who she was to really help her connect to that because she wanted a deeper relationship with God. She knew that this had a lot to doing with it. There was a conflict in how her husband and her wanted to raise kids, and there was a lot of inner conflict brewing in there, and it really affected how she saw herself. And you can see after really helping her with a deeper self-acceptance of herself first, and then of what spirituality even meant for her. It's like she was in a place that she was fighting for something that she didn't have any definitions for. So it kept her looping again and again. And it was keeping a disconnect in her personal and her professional life in so many ways as well. And so you can see that the size of her nose has actually increased. Her nose is no longer angled up to the extent of the nose on the left. And she definitely opened up to more information and knowledge and the wisdom that we were going into the inner world and her sense of identity and all these pieces. And so this beautifully shifted her nose and really brought up the arch even a little bit and to the size of her nose, the generosity she had for herself and others had increased. And so this was a really big shock for her. And one of the biggest changes I've seen in working with a client because our identity, how we see ourselves, our confidence, our self worth, how we show up in the world has so much to do with our nose and the placement of our nose and how that fits in with the rest of our features. And so I obviously don't have the permission to share the rest of the face, but I just wanted to speak to the ability to really shift ourselves. That when we have the power to shift our body in this way, we really develop a sense of all that we're able to create and change and shift in our physical life. And this is one of the feedbacks I get from a lot of my clients is that, wow, like I had no idea. And it's just deepening the connection with ourselves. It just expands our reality so much deeper when we link the two together in this way. It's really quite beautiful. And if we move on, because she was keeping herself in a bit of a spiral, she wasn't taking the aligned action because she was disconnected with her intuition. Like she wasn't connecting with decision making in a way that felt like it was in flow for her, aligned to what she really wanted, partly because she wasn't connected to her values to the degree that she needed to go where she needed to go to make decisions aligned to that, but also because she wasn't feeling a lot of her emotions. A lot of it was repressed and suppressed. It's really difficult to connect to your own intuition, the depth of your intuition, when you're also holding back these pieces of how you feel about yourself and the emotions around that. And I hope that makes sense. And so you can see that when on the left side, when we first started working together, you see the curve of the angle of the jawline is quite smooth, almost like not very distinguished. And after we started working together to really start to create this aligned action within her and how she took action towards her goals and a whole different beingness, her jawline, you can see that there is actually, I'm not sure if you can see my mouse, but essentially, if you follow the line on the right side of the picture from the bottom of the ears, there is a more distinguished line going down. And it's just the jawline is more formed. So when we see this happening, there's more determination. You can see more focus in the energy of moving self forward. And you can see even the chin, the size of the chin, how it's curved more out. Again, it's speaking to much more determination and flow with creating her life in the way she wants. And this is some of the changes I just wanted to highlight to the degree of respecting her privacy as well. And so it's just amazing every time I am privileged to do before and after pictures with my clients. So I can really see a lot of times we do the personal development, the inner work, and we're not necessarily seeing the tangibility of the results in this way. Yes, we're getting some external results. And I've even gotten external results, really good results working with other coaches and healers. But when it came down to coming back to not having the coach and being with myself, like I didn't feel any more empowered. I didn't feel my intuition was necessary that much stronger just because I accomplished the external goals. Does that make sense? But this allowing ourselves to seeing ourselves shift in this way, it's like you can really feel it in your body. You can really sense the new embodiment. You feel like you created a whole different identity because our nose shifts and it's literally representing our identity and how we see ourselves. And I'm not able to share this here, but what she witnessed from her public face when we look at the overall face, her private face, there was so much gentleness and warmth. And one of her high values is that to create peace in her life, that just kept on being loving and peaceful was very important to her soul. And this was really represented on the left side of her face. However, when she saw her right side of her face, like two right sides together and two left sides together, for the right side, the public side, she could really see how she developed new strength. But she didn't look very approachable. And this is the disconnect where you might be navigating a certain way in one aspect of your life, but then in another area of your life, like maybe you talk to your friends a whole different way, but when you talk to your husband and wife or your child, you have a whole different beingness, or you be speaking out to the camera or to other people, and you get the feedback that your face is not matching what you're actually trying to put out to the world. And so there's this inner disconnect that happens. And this is what Jennifer was witnessing within herself. And so the next evolution of our coaching is really to bring more integration and embodiment to our inner world and outer world, to take action in a way where we open up the depth of her self intimacy, of her emotional abundance, so that she can create that and allow that integration to happen. And this is the beauty of this work, is that tapping into your face and body, it overcomes those limiting subconscious beliefs, like identifying things that are actually in the way when we can't seem to put a finger on it. That's the beauty of having a face analysis. And so if that's something you're interested in, just know that I have a free What Does Your Face Say About Your Self Leadership? And it's opportunity to witness yourself in this way to see where your strengths lie in your leadership, but then also places where you may be in and out of alignment, because we can transform when we're not looking at the truth. And so if that's something that's interesting to you, definitely click on the link below in the show notes and you could get access to that right in the show notes. So please go ahead and do that now. It really supports to embody your highest self. If you're someone that you're just wanting, you're always really growth minded, you're really wanting to be your best self, and you really value authenticity. This is the type of work that I wish was available to me way back when I was trying to figure out who I am, trying to figure out what mattered to me. And not only that, this is something that anyone can really tap into at different pieces of your journey. I've worked with people that are further along the journey and they came thinking this was just a fun thing. And they were so shocked at the information they really needed to hear. And that's the beauty of this work, is that before we start, I get you to set your intention about what you want to know, what clarity do you want. And I've had people have the color of their lips change in one session. I've had someone have their eyes like open up in a new way, and I had someone's voice change just in one session. And so I don't have a doubt that working with me consistently for a length of time with a very clear intention is going to really shift you entirely into a different person. I love to hear what you thought of this episode. I really hope that this has awakened the power of your body, the power of your embodiment, your alignment, shifting how you relate and see yourself, and to really allow your own face and body to be that roadmap. Please reach out to me, direct message me if you want to connect and just have a conversation about where you're at in your journey so we can really personalize things to you. I hold so much love for this work. I am here meant to help someone deepen their self-intimacy, to do that through the energy of love, care, and compassion, literally written in my human design. If you're interested, I also do face analysis as well as human design together. It just adds so much more dimension when you're able to bring both together and to really, support you on your path back to your deepest, highest, authentic self, so that you become the magnet to what you say you want: deeper fulfillment and joy and all of this, while creating your impact in the world. So much love to you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending your energy with me. Definitely hit follow, subscribe, leave a message. I love to hear from you. Lots of love. Take care. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the Authentic Leaders Rising podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode, and leave us a review so others can find the life-changing content that we're sharing here. We are starting our movement on our way to number 1, and we need your help to get there. If you'd like to connect with other high-achieving entrepreneurs and leaders who are also on their authentic, energetic leadership journey, join our free Facebook community, Energetically Aligned Leaders. Go to pathtotheheart.com/links to join the Facebook group, book your personalized face analysis experience, or to access our resources.